Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Find somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits, as it should find you in good spirits. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic, fun, and safe Cinco de Mayo, if you were actually celebrating that and all that. My camera is acting up right now, and I don't know why. There we go. Hopefully it's good now. But hopefully you guys are all doing well out there. We got to get into this conversation. We got some things we have got to get into, and it is very interesting nonetheless. We got paperwork, documents revolving around the Mica Miller situation. Now, it's very, very interesting. Nonetheless, we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be looking at the paperwork here in just a little bit. It's an affidavit where she says some very shocking things that would make everybody side-eye the heck out of Pastor JP. We got a lot to look into. We got a lot to talk about. So before we get into everything, please do me a favor, all right? Just a little housekeeping. Hit that like button down below, please and thank you, okay? Hit that like button, hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. That'll be greatly, greatly appreciated. Do not forget, if you can, hit that follow button on Facebook, Twitter, X, TikTok, Instagram, all my social medias. Please go hit that follow button, all right? And of course, do not forget to crush that subscribe button right here on my YouTube channel. Please become a member by simply hitting that join button down below if you're watching on YouTube. And if you want to support the channel even more, go over to my Patreon. Patreon.com/The Pascal Show. Please and thank you. Okay, so we got to get into this. Like I said, we're not going to be on for a very, very long time. Okay, it's not going to be one of those big epic shows or anything of that sort, but there is some new information revolving around this case. Now, this pastor's wife by the name of Mica Miller, okay? Actually, let me pull up a better photo. I got a better photo. There we go. More in focus photo, okay? 30 years old. She was found gone in a park. They say, well, police are still investigating this situation. Just a quick recap. Police are still an ongoing investigation. But her husband, who she was estranged from and she was trying to get divorced from, by the way, she also had a no contact order that was that she had filed days before her demise. Okay, her pastor, estranged husband, JP. Let me see if I got a photo of him or them together. Okay, actually, I got a photo of him right there. I think it's fitting to keep them separate in some weird, messed up way. But anyway, this pastor right here, Pastor JP, he went to his congregation at the end of a service, just dropped a bombshell on his congregation, saying that his wife, Mica Miller, was no longer on this planet, that she had passed on the night before. He goes out to his people, to his congregation, and says that this was a self-inflicted GSW. If you get what I'm saying, GSW, pew pew, okay? That she did the unthinkable thing to herself. She unalived herself, okay? This is what he says to his congregation before they leave for the day. Oh, just so you guys know, this is what's going on. I'm going to have you guys stand up. Here's the information. I don't want to talk about it here. Don't talk about it in this church. Leave the building. You can talk amongst yourselves outside the building. But in here, I'm just giving you the information, and we're going to keep it moving. My wife's gone. Found out this morning that she passed away last night, or something of that sort. Found out last night that she passed away. This was self-inflicted. She had some mental health issues. She didn't get the medicine to her that she needed quick enough. so on and so forth, right? In fact, I'm going to share that video with you guys again, just a quick trip down memory lane. But he said out loud to everyone the day after she was gone, the very next day when she had left this planet, he knew somehow that she did this to herself. How does that make sense? How does he know all of that? Again, was there a note? Somebody said it on the show yesterday. A brilliant question. What, did she leave a note behind? Did she say, I can't, dear JP, here's the reason why I'm leaving this planet and I'm doing it to myself? Did she say anything? How would he know that she did this to herself so quickly? The very next day, just so you guys know, congregation, my wife is gone. Yep. Yeah, I know. It's, a lot of adrenaline. I'm just riding on this adrenaline right now. And yeah, self-inflicted. And we're going to have a celebration of life, a funeral for her on Sunday, the very next week. You just found out that she was no longer on this planet the night before, and you're dropping all this information. She's perished, found an hour away from Myrtle Beach in a park in some random place. Why would you automatically know that this was a self-inflicted situation? And I think that's one of the main reasons why a lot of people are sitting here going, wait, that ain't mathing out right. Let's not forget that, of course, he was out here seen days later, maybe 4 days later, out with a new girl, out with his new squeeze. Let's not forget that she also was filing for a divorce. She also had a no contact order filed against him as well. Days before she disappeared, days before she, of course, was found gone. Now, I'm telling you right now, if somebody is, at least this is my personal opinion, and maybe you guys will agree, maybe you guys won't agree, okay? But in my personal opinion, if you have somebody who's going all the way out of their way to file a no contact order, to get divorce papers signed, filled out, so you can make him sign those papers, right? You want to move away and get emancipated. There are countless videos out here of her talking about, her faith, in all that, finding strength in her faith, in all that during these turbulent times, during a nasty divorce that she's going through, and all that. She says all this stuff, guys. Why would she suddenly just self-delete? That makes no sense. And we got to use these code words, unfortunately. Why would she do this unthinkable thing to herself? That doesn't make any sense, guys. I'm telling you right now, I don't believe what this pastor is saying. Now, one thing I will say, we're going to take a look at this video one more again, okay? But I will say, I get it. Everyone deals with grief. Everyone deals with shocking tragedies, information like this. We all deal with it differently. No two people are going to react the same way. I get it. But there's something about this that just doesn't seem right. Now, I will say this, though, too. Just because he says what he says does not automatically mean that he's the guilty party. Innocent till proven guilty in the court of law. But in these streets, we all are side-eyeing this mother lover. Why? Because of how he is presenting himself, how he's put this information out here. Now, I want to say one more thing, just to be on the other side of the fence really quick, because, I try to hop back and forth. I try as best as I can. I am only human, of flesh and blood are made. But there's something here that just doesn't make sense to me either. He says this information. Now, instantly I go, how would he, like I just said a second ago, instantly I think, how would he know that this was a unthinkable thing? How would he automatically know this? That's the part that doesn't make sense to me either. Would police automatically tell him that? If the investigation is still ongoing, who would go to him and say, yes, she did this to herself? It was self-inflicted, sir. If it's still an ongoing investigation. So here's the other side I'm thinking, okay? Because that's the part that doesn't make sense to me. And it says it's sus as hell, all right? But we got to go on the other side of the fence really quick. If there is a full-on history of mental health issues, etc., that she's gone through, could he have been making this up, assuming, and just saying that to his congregation because of the history of her trying to do self-harm? Does that make sense with what I'm saying here? Now, one thing I want to say, though, is if that is true, then he's being very reckless. I mean, he's being reckless right now. He's being absolutely reckless no matter what, because he's gone up to the congregation and he is saying, oh, it's self-inflicted. But the thing is that he has no confirmation. Police are still investigating this crime scene, this tragedy. And yet he's still out here saying to people that this was a self situation. That is reckless no matter what. No matter how many ways you look at it, no matter if you sit on the fence, no matter if you're on one side or the other side of the fence, it's still very reckless. Why would he go out here and say that? He could have easily just said, we lost her. They're still investigating the situation. That's it. We got her funeral coming up on Sunday. Like for you guys to be there, so on and so on. He didn't have to give all that other extra stuff. And to me, that makes him look even more suspect. You know, when people are out here and they have a tendency to lie, or they have a tendency to add more to the story because they're lying. Is he adding more to the story because he is lying? Or is he just assuming that this is how she left this planet because of the history that he had with her, that she may have tried to do these things in the past? You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, I got a lot of questions. It's very weird that he would go out of his way to say all that information. Oh, yeah, you know, she's gone and this is what happened and she did this to herself. And, you know, she has a history of doing this, guys. You already know this. And he's already on these interviews. We saw an interview yesterday, which was very odd. But he was all in these interviews talking about how she had a history of trying to do this in the past. Police are still investigating this mother-loving case. Why are you out here saying this stuff? It's weird. And like I said, innocent till proven guilty in the court of law. But something just ain't right. So let's take a look at this really quick. Just a quick trip down memory lane. All right, let me make sure this is unmuted. Just a quick trip. This is the video that basically launched 1,000 ships. All right.
We're not going to do an altar call today. Instead, I'm going to have you stand up and I'm going to make an announcement. And after the announcement, I'm going to ask that you leave church quietly and don't talk about the announcement here in the building, please, if you can, so y'all can stand to your feet. Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give for the next little bit. 'Cause I don't want to have. I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks. I don't know. I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away, and it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. And we're going to have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m.
Like I said, it just doesn't make any sense. If it's still an ongoing investigation and it has not been confirmed whether or not it is a induced thing, like he just said, self-inflicted thing, then why is he out here saying that the very next day? Again, he may have full-on access to law enforcement and a lot of friends in the law enforcement world that are sitting there going, yeah, it looks like this. But why would he go out here and be reckless like this and telling his congregation something that hasn't been fully confirmed yet? It's weird. Like I said, she passed away the day before this sermon was made, before this service. And he's already out here going, oh yeah, she gone. She gone and she did it herself. Yeah, service for her on Sunday. We'll see you then. But I still want you guys to show up and patron and keep on tithing, keep on giving me the support and love that we deserve, because we still need to pay the bills. These bills don't pay themselves. Okay. Yes, we are blessed, but we need an abundance and an abundance of greenbacks. Please and thank you. But here's the information. That's weird. It's very, very odd, guys. And that's just my personal opinion. Okay. But I think a lot of people are agreeing in what I'm saying, what I feel right now as well. Okay. Now, there have been a few things I want to share with you guys, a few things first before we go into the affidavit. Okay. There was obviously a kind of like a service celebration of life at Myrtle Beach that I want to share with you guys. People were like live streaming it on Facebook and all that. So I want to share that with you guys real quick. You don't really need to hear what is being said because it's just all wind. And of course, it's on the beach. But these are all people, showing love and support for Micah. Because how she left this planet is very weird. It's very odd. And obviously, I mean, let's be real. Let's I think we can all agree that this is a very tragic way for someone to just suddenly be gone, suddenly just not be here anymore. And it's like I said, it's this one you don't have to think very hard about either. Because all breadcrumbs are leading towards down the path of foul play. Again, I get it. There's a lot of people that will do a lot of different things, set things up, and then suddenly, boom, they do the unthinkable to themselves. But this woman was doing a no contact order that was filed. She filed divorce papers. She was on Facebook. She was on social medias trying to speak about her faith, trying to find her audience, find her people, trying to be emboldened about her emancipation from this devastatingly disturbing relationship that she had with this so-called pastor. Why would she suddenly just boop do the unthinkable to herself? It just doesn't make any sense, especially somebody who's doing everything they can to go live their life, to find a better life, to move on, live long and prosper. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. Now, I know a lot of people have done a lot of wild things. Set a whole lot of things up. He had so much going for him. He was getting ready for this, and this, and then suddenly he's gone. Yeah, we've heard those things before. But this does not seem like the type of person, it doesn't seem like the situation was going down that route for her. It just doesn't. Now, I know that there's a lot of things that apparently that were being said, things that Pastor JP was working on, trying to move things around and so on. I guess trying to protect some of the stuff so that she wouldn't just take everything during this divorce or ask for half, whatever it may be, right? But that's a divorce, right? Divorces are divorces. Unfortunately, they can be really nasty. Okay. But one thing I do want to share with you guys, well, first off, let me get this real quick before I forget. But there's something I wanted to share with you guys right quick. It's a couple articles that I want to share with you guys. But like I said, there's this, you can't write this stuff. You know what I mean? You can't, and there's no denying that something's not right here. Okay. There's no denying that something ain't right. And what's interesting is this article here. Like I said, it's just weird. She was afraid for her life. And it's interesting. Things like there were devices, like tracking devices put on her car, stuff like that. That's insane, guys. That's insane. Okay. So let's look into this. Okay. Afraid for her life. Report detail harassment ahead of Mica Miller's demise. So there's an ongoing investigation into the demise of Micah, which we already know. Okay. And like I said, she was an hour away from Myrtle Beach. Now, I get it that she was like allegedly couch surfing and staying at people's homes and all that. But at the same time, why was she all the way out at that specific park of all things? Why was she there? That doesn't make any sense. But let's see. ABC 15 requested reports for the Horry County Police Department that listed 30-year-old Micah as the victim. HCPD sent 2 reports from March 11th. According to the documents, Miller reported to the police that a razor blade was placed in her tire at the Spring-Made Pier. She claimed this was the second time a razor had deflated her tire within that week. The report said that as Miller was leaving the pier, she heard a pop and noticed metal protruding from her tire. The responding officer said the metal was a tire deflation device that could be bought online. So, yeah, sounds like somebody's targeting her car, targeting Micah specifically. If this is not the first time, right? If it's only been one time, but it's happened more times, that's weird, right? So, Miller believed a suspect whose name is redacted in the report may have placed or had the item placed on the tire. The report stated that Miller noticed quote unquote strange activity and believed people were following or watching her. Like I said, that's weird. She's feeling like somebody's following her, somebody's watching her. There's a deflation, like a tire flattening device on her car. It's not one time, but 2 times. That's weird. Miller told police that the unidentified suspect had a history of similar actions against her, according to the report. So who'd that be? Who is this unidentified suspect? Who is it? Is it JP? Is it his girl? Is it his new main squeeze? Is it the new main squeeze that had the paraplegic husband that lost his life in a pool because there was an accident and he fell into a paraplegic man at a pool, somehow falls into the pool and loses his life in the pool, paraplegic? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Could it be this unidentified suspect is was JP's side piece, now the main chick? Or is it JP himself doing all this stuff? I got questions. Police stated that the evidence was not sufficient enough to prove that the suspect placed the razor device under the tire. Later that same morning, another officer responded to East Coast Honda dealership. The officer spoke with Miller, who advised that after another officer helped change her tire, she went to the gas station and then straight to the Honda dealership to get her tire fixed. Miller said that while at the gas station, the suspect in the incident pulled up next to her pump trying to talk to her. She told him to go away and that she did not want to talk, per the report. When she pulled out her phone to record, the suspect reportedly sped off. Miller then left the gas station to go back to East Coast Honda, where the suspect also showed up, according to the police report. While an officer was standing with Miller, she received a no-caller ID call, which ended up being the suspect, the officer noted in the report. Wow. That's insane. The suspect was advised that the victim does not want any further contact, and if he proceeds, then warrants may be written up. The suspect acknowledged the advisory, police said. The victim told the officer she, quote unquote, was afraid for her life. She also said that she blocked the suspect's number and would still get calls and texts from him on other numbers. Who do you think is him? Don't worry. We got a whole show where we've been talking about him. So if you don't know, I'm sure you figured it out by now. He's pulling up, harassing her, calling her. It sounds like flattening her tires. That's crazy, guys. Venus, you're right. It's deliberate. Okay? He's deliberately showing up and making her time a living hell. After the officer left, Miller contacted him to say the mechanics found a tracking device on her vehicle. Tracking device. Who does that? About an hour later, Miller also notified the officer that she was at the magistrate office to get a restraining order. The officer requested to meet her to get the GPS device, to which Miller agreed. While out front of the magistrate's office with Miller, the officer saw a white Honda Accord slowly drive by, and Miller said it was the suspect in her car driving by. The vehicle then sped up and drove away, the report concluded. Now, what's interesting is that she's saying, this is very interesting, right? It says here it was the suspect in her car driving by. So is this a tag team type of situation? Think about this for a second. Is this a tag team type of situation where it's not only a him, but it's a her too? They're teaming up and they're making this woman's life a living hell. That's crazy, right? I mean, you can pretty much think of who these two are, right? I mean, don't worry. I got a little cheat sheet, just could be. Maybe. I mean, obviously, this is just me assuming. This is just speculation. I don't know what we don't know what's true and we don't know what's not true, but that's very interesting, don't you think? And there's a tracking device on her ride. And then even so, the cops are seeing these people. Like I said, it's like a tag team effort to make Micah's time or make her day really crappy that day. Let's continue on. On Thursday of last week, the Robeson County Sheriff's Office said that they started an investigation at Lumber River State Park, where she passed away, to determine the cause of her passing. Now, Miller's husband, J.P. Miller, or John Paul Miller, the pastor at Solid Rock Church in Market Common, told ABC 15 in an interview last week that Micah's passing was a unaliving of herself. Though law enforcement has not released a cause of demise, like I said, it just doesn't make sense. Why would he step forward and go, yeah, that's what she did. You know, this is what happened and she did it. And law enforcement is like, no, wait. We didn't even tell you. We haven't even said enough. We haven't said a damn thing yet, man. We haven't even confirmed anything yet. And you're out here saying that she did this to herself? Bro, come on. See, friends and family members have expressed disagreement with JP with his statement that she passed away by doing this to herself. And they're urging law enforcement to look closely into her demise. Yes, because let's not forget, there was a no contact. She filed a no contact order. Okay. Now, just so you guys know, all right, no contact orders are used in criminal cases and require charges to be pending or filed. And that, because I know some people are wondering what's a restraining order? What's the difference between the two, right? So knowing that no contact orders are used in criminal cases and require charges to be pending or filed, and that restraining orders are used in civil cases and can be tailored accordingly. Okay, it's important to it's an important step in determining which order is the correct one for the situation. So she was doing this because she didn't want any type of contact, literally, with this particular individual, JP. She did not want to talk to him. She didn't want to see him in public places. She didn't want to see him in these social media streets. She wanted nothing to do with this man. No contact whatsoever. And she just wanted him to sign them papers, sign the divorce papers, so that she can move the F on. But as you hear in that particular article, they were hounding her, harassing her, following her everywhere, and making her time, making at least that day a really hard day for her. That's absolutely crazy. Oh, don't worry. There's more. Okay? Because there is an affidavit that was filed by her sister, by Micah's sister. And I'm telling you right now, and what is being said here, man, they better be looking at this mother lover like crazy, okay? Because the stuff that's said in here is crazy. Near the end, it's insane, okay? But if they're not looking at her or looking at JP, Pastor JP, hard as hell, then I don't know what to say. Because the breadcrumbs have been laid out. The breadcrumbs have been laid out. So let's take a look at this affidavit. Okay? This is pretty crazy. So, of course, affidavit of Sierra Francis, okay? And that's the sister, okay? Personally appeared before me, Sierra Francis, who, after first being duly sworn, deposes and states as follows. Okay. I am the petitioner in the proceedings which are pending before the probate court as to the appointment of a special administrator from my sister's estate. I am Micah's younger sister, having been raised by our parents, Michael Francis and Angelita Salas, with our siblings, Nathaniel, Destiny, Anna, and Abby. Hopefully I'm saying that right. We ultimately settled in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in 2007 with our mom and stepdad. I was aware of Micah's family dynamics and relationship with her husband, respondent J.P. Miller, John Paul Miller, and stepchildren, Selah, Asher, Logan, Eli, and Zach. Okay? Micah and I spoke every few days, texting daily, so much as to even create playlists together. Micah would drive to visit me and my family in Gaffney, South Carolina, at least once a month. I know my sister to have expressed the and the violence against her by her husband to others, including family members and members of the church congregation. Let me repeat that again. I know my sister has expressed the and violence against her by her husband to others, including family members and members of the church congregation. So she has said out loud that she has gone through some really bad things with this man. And she has not only said it to Sierra, her sister, she's also said this to other family members and other members of this actual congregation that he was preaching in front of. Interesting, right? Micah told me that there were people following her, keeping track of where she went. She thought that Mr. Miller hired people to follow her. Mr. Miller later confirmed this during a sermon I watched. He literally said this during a sermon that she watched. He confirmed that he had people watching Micah. That's insane. And you say it in a sermon? Bro, that's insane, okay? Micah confided in me that Mr. Miller was moving assets that were in his name, such as his vehicle, changing the deed to their house to the church, transferring interest in Crocodile Rocks to one of his sons. In February 2024, just a few months ago, guys, Mr. Miller removed my sister's personal items from the home they shared while she was admitted to Waccamaw, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, Waccamaw Mental Health Facility, and left them at the apartment of Diana Noisy or Niosi. My sister was not aware that her personal possessions had been removed from the residence until she was released from the hospital. Now, what's interesting about this is that she was admitted to a mental health facility. So that is confirmed right there. She went to a mental health facility. Very interesting, right? Now, does that mean that she would do this unthinkable thing to herself? No, it doesn't mean that, but it could mean that too. But I'm telling you right now, if this was a self-inflicted thing, why are police still investigating this? Like I said, if this was an open and shut case where it's like, yep, self-inflicted, they'd open and shut. Done. Moving on to the next case, right? But it is interesting that she was admitted to a mental health facility. She did have mental health issues, for sure. So much that she was admitted to a facility. Okay? That's big. That's big information. Okay? Doesn't mean that she did this, okay, to herself, but still very interesting nonetheless. Prior to her admission to Waccamaw, Micah was gathering and sorting the evidence that she had to bring an attorney for filing divorce to support her claims against Mr. Miller, and as to his character, his paramours and associates he paid off or blackmailed. Minions, basically. While at the facility, those documents, emails, files, etc. were removed from her phone, personal laptop, vehicle, and purse, and never recovered. Further, Micah was unable to access her iCloud account, email, or Facebook profile. Mr. Miller continued using at least one of Micah's accounts, causing any recipient to believe it was Micah's communications. What in the hell? This dude was acting like Micah. He was responding and corresponding with people, acting like he was Micah. At least this is what the sister's claiming in this affidavit. That's insane. Let's not forget documents, emails, files, all the stuff that she was having to build a case against her own husband, all that stuff gone. And never to be seen ever again. And then all of a sudden, her iCloud account, she has no access to it. That's insane, guys. Micah talked about what she wanted her life to look like following the divorce from Mr. Miller. Having traveled for a church mission this past fall from October 15th through October 27th, 2023, Micah was intending to participate in additional missions, even to live part-time in Kenya. Micah recently shipped one of her personal items to Kenya in preparation of her stay there. So again, you got somebody who's out here planning things. She is planning for a future. She wanted to do more with, more mission work. She wanted to keep preaching the word. She's still heavy in her faith and all that stuff. She wanted to do good. She had plans for the future, guys. See what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I want to get these divorce papers done. I want to get divorced. I want to get emancipated. I want to get free from this man, free from the shackles of this very disturbing man, from what I'm hearing out here, because it's insane, the stuff I've heard. Don't know if it's 110% true, but it's pretty insane, okay? But she wants to get as far away from this guy as she possibly can so that she can go and live her life. That's it. Live her life and be happy. Is this something that would what happened to her be self-inflicted? When she had so much to live for, when she had so much to look forward to, shoot, going out and doing things in Kenya sounds dope, especially within the passions and within her faith. That sounds like a lot to be excited about, right? And Kenya is pretty far away from Myrtle Beach. I will tell you that too. This is weird. She had a lot going for herself. A lot. So my sister was hopeful for the future after filing for divorce from John Paul, like I just said. My sister also expressed to me that she was fearful that she would not make it to the divorce. Whoa. And that her life would be taken from her. It is my belief, based on conversations with my sister, that she told multiple people, including other family members. She stated to me on many occasions, if I end up with a bullet in my head, it was not by me. It was JP. Number 14 with a bullet, y'all. Number 14 with a mother-loving bullet. Micah forwarded a family group text message notifying us that Mr. Miller was served with divorce papers on April 25th, 2024. On April 27th, 2024, 2 days later, my sister, Mica Miller, was found gone as a result of a GSW in Lumberton, North Carolina. I have the full support of my family in my request to be appointed as special administrator. I take this request and my potential appointment in this role very seriously. And of course, signed and all that from her sister. Now, 14 really gets me going. Doesn't it for you? Definitely starts making me go and side-eye this mother lover like crazy. Why, you may ask? Well, it's funny how she stated to her sister, how Micah would state to Sierra, and maybe she said this, it sounds like she said this to multiple people, by the way, that, hey, if I end up gone, I'm telling you right now, it wasn't me. This is by the hand of JP. She even says she doesn't even think she's going to make it to see the actual signing of these divorce papers because of how much harassment that this young woman was getting from not only JP, but his minions as well, whom she said there were people that he either paid off or they were being blackmailed. Does that sound like a pastor to you? I'm just saying, like, when was the last time you heard anything about like a devious pastor like this? I mean, you know, you can like watch the Righteous Gemstones or something like that, but that's a TV show. That's a TV show. You got this pastor allegedly doing all kinds of unthinkable things to Micah during this entire time. Also, by the way, all while still having his side piece, having his new girl on his arm. And then, of course, she passes away on April 27th, 2 days after divorce papers were filed and were delivered, handed to JP. Hold on, I want to show you guys this again because it's number 14. Again, if I end up with a bullet in my head, it's not by me. It was JP. Now, this is an affidavit, and I'm telling you right now, no family member is just going to pull that out their butt and then file all this information or file this if it wasn't true. If she really did take her own life, if it was self-inflicted, there'd be no affidavit like this. There would be no claims like this at all. They'd go, okay, yeah, it's tragic, and this is what happened to her. And she was dealing with a lot of mental health issues, so on and so forth. She was admitted to a mental health facility and all that, you know. Heartbroken, may she rest in peace, so on and so forth. There would not be an affidavit at all. But the fact that she was putting things together to have a solid divorce, the fact that she had paperwork, emails, and then some, that suddenly all disappeared, tells me that there's something deeper going on with this than just him going, oh, you want to divorce me? No one divorces me. No, that doesn't make sense. Think about it for a second. He's been married before. He got kids. He's got an ex-wife out there somewhere. He's been married before. They met when she was a babysitter. Micah was a babysitter. He literally started hooking up with his babysitter. I'm not kidding. It's like a really, really demented, messed up soap opera. It's real, though. It's real life. Met her when she was 14, and he started, like, finessing her, because I got to use different, these code words because I can't say the G word either, which is frustrating, but moving on. Finessing her at 14 years old. So for 16 years, 14, 15 years old, so 15 to 16 years. Because she was 30 when she lost her life, when she left this planet. He had been finessing her from the time that she was 14, 15 years old. Then he got divorced because he was having an affair with Micah. And I'm sure he was having other affairs with other women too. Like I said, he seemed like somebody who'd like to share the wealth, if you get what I'm saying. But then they get married. They get together, they get married. And of course, they start to preach together. They start to praise together, pray, all that stuff. He has an ex-wife. The reason why I'm saying this is, think about this for a second. They said right here, let's go up here really quick. I'm just trying to math the math. You know what I'm saying? Okay. She was putting things together, right? It said in the first one, hold on. Let me get that up here really quick. On the bottom line, she was sorting right here. She was gathering and sorting evidence. This is number 10? Yeah, number 10. Micah was gathering and sorting evidence she had to bring an attorney for filing divorce, okay, to support her claims against Mr. Miller. And as to his character, his paramours, and associates, he quote unquote paid off or blackmailed. Now, I'm telling you right now, if you just want to get divorced, then you just go and get divorced. Why is she getting all this stuff? Why is there, why is she putting together evidence, documents, emails, files? Why does she have all this information? Just so she can get him to sign some papers so she can move on with her life. Think about that for a second. Think about it for a second. Because if you just want to get divorced, you just go and get divorced. Now, I know it's not that simple. I'm not sitting here saying that this is simple. You just walk over and go, I want to get divorced, and it's done. I understand that there's a process, okay? And there's still paperwork that needs to be done. But why is she coming out with emails, files, documents, etc.? It says it right there. Just so she can get divorced. I'm telling you right now, she had or she was putting together a whole lot more evidence and a whole lot more stuff that was more than just her trying to get divorced. Because why would all that information, the documents, emails, files, etc., be removed from her phone, her personal laptop, her vehicle, and purse? She must have had some really, really smoking gun, shocking information on this man. Possibly criminal. Or just incredibly embarrassing. That would just destroy his reputation. You see what I'm saying here, though, right? Because there are allegations. It's not confirmed yet, but there are allegations that he would make her perform acts with him with other people. We heard that in that TikTok yesterday. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know if that's 110% true. I've heard stories about them picking up homeless people as well. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I've heard about homeless people. I heard him having her participate in acts with people that, random people off the street. Okay? So if any of that stuff is true, what do you think all the files, emails, and documents are? I'm just saying. I got all this information. Yeah. Oh, wow. Astro from space. Yeah. It's like he diddied her. Wow. Wow. Yeah. That's so sad. Like she was Cassied. Like she is Cassie. She is the Cassie to his Diddy. Oh, good God. But yeah. So clearly there's information. Okay. Yes, little Patty, like third party acts. Yeah. Random people coming in and they all arriving together. You know what I'm saying? They're having a meeting of sorts. So if that is true, then the documents, emails, files, the etc. that are on her personal laptop, her phone, in her vehicle, the purse, all that stuff that's gone, that's been removed, the fact that she wasn't able to access her iCloud account and all that, you're telling me she don't have all that? You're telling me that he just did that just to have control? No, he's hiding something. He's trying to prevent something from being leaked. Pineapple parties indeed, S-dubs. Yeah. Think about it, babies. Think about it, okay? Interesting. And these pineapple parties that you're talking about are a lot deeper and a lot more wild than you can ever imagine. I don't think you ever want to imagine this, because it's not only just random, like these carnal acts with random people, sometimes homeless men, so on and so forth, but then there were other items that were around, allegedly depicting things that shouldn't be depicted. I can't really say much because it's I have to use code words like a mug. There's things I can't even say live because I'd have to tell all your kids earmuffs. Okay, but it's some really disturbing stuff that's being alleged. So of course, she had a lot more that she was about to unearth, and then all of a sudden she gone. She files this divorce. She does a no contact filing, right? No contact order. 2 days later, she gone. Like I said, the math ain't mathin'. The math just ain't mathin'. This woman, I think, survived years and years of absolutely disturbing SAA, you name it, by this man who, at face value, is coming off like this good old goody two shoes type of dude, when actually he's a very disturbed, demented, monster, for lack of a better term. It's pretty crazy. And I'm telling you, there's information that she has. I just feel in my gut. She had information that was more than just her trying to get divorced. And I'm sure it was like, I want a divorce. I want certain things. If not, I'm leaking all of this stuff. I'm putting all this stuff out here. Everyone's going to know the truth about who you are and how you treated me and other people as well. And then, of course, you got not only himself, maybe some minions, maybe some of his people. Like I said, he has associates that he pays off or that he blackmails. Those individuals are going and harassing her, following her everywhere, flattening her tires and all that stuff. I mean, that's insane, guys. Making her time while she was on this planet very hard. All the while, he's running around gallivanting with scallywags, having side pieces and all that. He's able to do whatever the hell he wants. While her life is just turning into an ish show. And you know what? Somebody like him, pastor, having the power of the word, able to manipulate by hiding behind the cloak of faith. It's very disturbing, because those minions are thinking that they're doing the good Lord's work. You can brainwash and manipulate somebody enough, it seems like, that they feel like they're doing the right thing. It's insane. So like I said, this math ain't mathin' to me at all. Okay? Let me share this with you guys.
Wife after her body was found in a state park about a week ago. Pastor John Paul Miller told his congregation that his wife, 30-year-old Micah, took her own life after struggling with mental illness. But her friends and family say otherwise and want police to, quote, deeply investigate what happened. More than 100 people rallying outside John Paul's church in Myrtle Beach, demanding justice for Micah. This happened on Sunday. Our very own Kelsey Kernstein has been digging into the story. Kelsey, some pretty startling court documents revealing what may have happened just before Micah died.
Yeah, hey there, Hannah. They really are startling. So, according to reports, just days before she died, she filed multiple times for a legal separation from her husband. We're also learning that she even filed for divorce back in October. Then Micah posted on Facebook about abuse just weeks ago. The video offers advice for people who may be in an abusive relationship, and some believe that this video is proof that Micah was in one herself.
Now, before we continue on, I do want to remind you guys, she filed for divorce in October as well. So she was trying to get out. But I keep wondering what made her decide to drop that divorce, because she tried to divorce him, then it got dropped, and then all of a sudden paperwork came back in April, right? 2 days before she, of course, met her tragic ending, right? But I'm curious, what made her stop the other time? Maybe she felt like she didn't have enough to be able to separate herself from this man, or maybe he was able to convince her to stick around. Maybe he used faith to sit there and go, well, God doesn't appreciate this. God is gonna you'll be smoted. You know what I mean? God will smite thee for trying to divorce me, type thing. I don't know. But then she still tried to file. She still filed in April. So I'm kind of curious as to why the first time didn't go through. It's interesting. Like I said, interesting.
God hates divorce, but why? According to everybody I've asked and the scriptures that I've found, it's because it hurts people. But does abuse hurt people? How do you think God feels about that?
So, according to the police report, 30-year-old Mica Miller died on April 27th. We know that her body was found in Lumber River State Park in North Carolina. That is just about an hour away from where the Millers live in Myrtle Beach. Just days after she died, her husband, Pastor John Paul Miller, told his parishioners that she had taken her own life and blamed it on her years of mental health struggles. However, police say they are still investigating how Micah died.
I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away. And yeah, it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. Y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And she wasn't. Y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally, and that she needed her medicine that was hard to get to her.
And this is interesting, too. A Facebook group called Justice for Micah pointed out a statement from her obituary that they believe was odd. It reads, she would praise her husband after every church service, telling him he was the best preacher in the world, in parentheses, even if it wasn't true. She also told him he was the funniest preacher in the world, in parentheses, even if that wasn't true either. We also know on Sunday, dozens of people.
That's crazy. I mean, it, and that's in her obituary. Like, it's just, like I said, this whole situation is so weird. It's so odd. It is so odd.
In parentheses, even if it wasn't true. She also told him he was the funniest preacher in the world, in parentheses, even if that wasn't true either. We also know on Sunday, dozens of people came together in Myrtle Beach, and they gathered outside the church to rally for Micah and send a message to her husband. Take a listen.
I came out today to support her family, to support her story, because her story is important and it needs to be heard.
I remember one time passing by just saying hi, and it was like the biggest smile on her face, saying hi back.
Micah's sister also telling her friends on social media not to listen to false stories being shared about Micah. And a friend of Micah is also saying that she spoke to Micah multiple times a week before she died, and that her final text to her on Friday night was not a woman about to die, but a woman making plans to live. We have also reached out to John Paul Miller's church for comment, and we were told that now is not a good time to interview him.
Interesting that now is not a good time to interview him. He had no problem addressing and giving the news to his congregation about her passing. He had no problem doing that interview, when it first got the information dropped, this shocking news dropped. He had no problem going on there and saying, oh, she's such a good person, and she was just the wonderful helpmate and all this stuff. Like, weird, right? I mean, at least that's just, to me, I find that weird.
Hannah, Kelsey Kernstein, so many unanswered questions. Thank you so much.
I think it's very odd. Okay. Because now he's not willing to do interviews. Now he's not. He was doing it before. So now he's got a problem. Now he can't talk about it. It's weird. To me, it's weird. Okay. To me, it's a little odd. And in fact, we're going to go back and take a trip down memory lane on that video. But before we do that, actually, I want to show you guys the actual obituary. Let me just take this stuff down real quick, because I do have the obituary. I didn't get a chance to show it to you guys yesterday. And I had it queued up, but I just didn't show it to you guys yesterday. But I want to share it with you guys now. Okay. And this is, like I said, very, 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 very odd. Okay. So he wrote it. Allegedly, JP, Pastor John Paul, wrote this himself. Okay. So Mica Miller, 30, of Myrtle Beach, passed away on Saturday, April 27th, 2024. She was born March 7th, 1994, in Wichita, Kansas, a daughter of Michael Francis and Angelita Ramirez. She is survived by her husband, Pastor J.P. Miller of Myrtle Beach. Okay. And then a whole bunch of people and 4 sisters and all that as well. Okay. Micah was energetic, affirming, adventurous, faithful, loving, giving, forgiving, talented, joyous, creative, assertive, bold, determined, authoritative, passionate, hardworking, a risk taker, and so much more. She and JP have been friends since 2009, married in 2017. Now, what's interesting about this is 2009, when they were friends, he was a 30-year-old man and she was about a 14, 15-year-old girl. Mind you, there's a 15-year age gap between them. Just a quick little reminder so you guys know, so you guys can do the math. So, and spent almost every single day and night together. That's not entirely true, because near the end, she was couch surfing and trying to get as far away from Pastor JP. Interesting. Moving on. Micah loved her little dog, Loki. She loved doing outdoor activities like waterfall rappelling, hiking, skydiving, running, and going to the beach. Micah would take on any challenge, even if it's being a vegan for an entire year. Micah was a great stepmother and an amazing wife and helpmate. Now, some of these things I've already read in articles from yesterday and all that. They took pieces from this obituary and put in the article. So if it sounds familiar, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. She helped Pastor JP with the church in every way. Micah was a worship leader, graphics designer, youth leader, women's ministry leader, and pastor's assistant. There's a lot of hats to wear. Let's be real. And she did all of this with the utmost integrity and faithfulness. Micah made the greatest of efforts to always be the best wife she could be. She truly served Jesus and her husband with all of her heart. She would praise her husband after every church service, telling him he was the best preacher in the world. Even if that wasn't true, she also told him that he was the funniest preacher in the world, even though that wasn't true either. This is very odd. This is a very odd obituary. Micah loved her family so much. She looked forward to every text from her father or brother. She sought every opportunity to pour into her sisters. There were thousands of nights that she would pray out loud for God to always bless and take care of her family. They were constantly on her mind. Micah wanted more than anything for each member of her family to serve Jesus continually. Micah loved her ice bath, nice car, sauna, house, etc. But more than anything on earth was her desire to see people come to Jesus. It is a very odd obituary. Let me just say that. I'm going to say it out loud. You know, even reading it out loud to you guys, because I've only read it, by myself, alone, that kind of thing. But reading it out loud, it even sounds extremely like, she served me so well and she loved Jesus. She just loved Jesus, but she served me so well. She was a wonderful wife. She served me so well. Oh, she liked these other things, but she served me so well. Nah, I'm not feeling that obituary. This is a terrible obituary, in my personal opinion. It just seems a bit like, yeah, here's a sprinkling of, it doesn't even, I don't feel like I know anything about, like there's a few things in there, like, oh yeah, she liked to hike and this, but she loved Jesus. And she served me so well. There's more to her than this. She loved her ice bath, nice car, sauna, house, etc. Doesn't it seem a little bit disjointed? It just feels a bit disconnected. I could be wrong. Maybe these are how obituaries are usually written. I've never read an obituary like this, though. I will say that. Just seems like he wrote this on AI. he went into Chat GPT and said, write something nice for my wife. Boop. And then it just pooped out this. But she loved Jesus, and she was such a good wife. So attentive. Actually, she wanted nothing to do with you. So why are you the one who wrote this obituary in the first place? I'm not feeling it, guys. I'm not feeling it. I'll just say that. Yeah, Chat GPT. I said it. He just said, so write something nice. Her name is Micah. She passed. Just write something nice. Send. And then it went, here it is. Energetic, affirming, adventurous, faithful, loving, giving, forgiving. Like what? What is this? She deserves better than this. That's what I think. Even so, how he addresses his congregation, she deserves better than that. I just want you guys to know this. You guys can stand up, but I'm just going to let you guys know. But we're not going to talk about it. After you can talk about it when you leave, but we're not going to talk about it inside the church. She gone. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, she gone. You guys can leave now. Huh? Even how he says that she passed is trash. Even to his congregation. He didn't even do her that service. That makes no sense to me. This obituary is trash. Absolute trash. Yeah, y'all can get up. We ain't going to do the thing that we usually do with it today. Got some news. I got an announcement. It's an announcement. It's not. I got some devastating news to give you guys. I don't know. Yeah, inspired artist. It feels like he's writing an obituary for himself. Oh, she loved Jesus. Oh, but she was so attentive to me. And she was always the best cheerleader. Okay? I don't know. Something ain't right. Something ain't right with that. And something ain't right with this whole situation. And given the fact that you have an affidavit that says, if there is a bullet in my head, verbatim, if you see this pew in my head, it was not by me. It was JP. Huh? A lot of these people, you know how that is. Like, I got this information I want to tell you, but if I end up gone, I didn't do it. And then they end up gone. And then they go, oh, yeah, it was self-inflicted. No, man. No, they just said it 2 seconds ago that it wasn't going to be them. If they lost their life tomorrow after dropping this knowledge, damn right. Law enforcement should be looking into this mother lover. Have mercy. Okay. Buddha, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Off the record. Welcome to the family. And just like off the record, hit that join button down below. Become a member. That'll be greatly appreciated. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the support. Thanks for all you do. You're awesome. And I am glad I found your channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you so much for the support. Tired as a mother. Thank you so much. Have you seen the videos about his dad? Yes, I have seen the videos about his dad. There is just so much in those videos that I can't even, man, shoot. We watched like a good portion of it, and my mind was blown. I was just like, I need a time out. I had literally was like, we were 2 minutes in that mug, and I was like, I need to take a breath. Oh my Lord. Like, wow, I need to wash myself in the blood of Jesus right now. Holy cow. It's crazy the stuff that's being said. Okay. Crazy. Okay. So hold on, I'm reading your comments. Thank you so much, Katie. I appreciate the love. Thank you so very much. Word Sleuth. The where the videos of the dad. If you go to Kyler, not Tyler 1 on TikTok, sorry, she breaks this whole thing down on the dad. And I'm telling you, this may very well be a apple doesn't fall very far from the tree. Because if the allegations, what is being said in that video, excuse me, are actually true, then man, you got a very, very potentially very damaged pastor. Let me just say that. And I don't know what's up with Pakistan, but apparently, you know, that's where you go, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, the dad is bad. The dad is very, very bad. All right. And if he did anything to his kid, to JP, I wouldn't be surprised if this is, generational, like this generational curse, right? You got a very demented predator of a dad that could have passed this on to Pastor JP. And then he continued on, right? And he's continuing on the legacy. But his is a little bit different. Maybe it's not little boys. It's women with Pastor JP. I don't know. Like I said, this is all just speculation. But I'm telling you right now, holy cow. It's bad. It's bad, guys. It's mind-blowingly bad. I don't recommend that. Okay? I don't recommend that. Like, I mean, go check it out on TikTok. You can, by all means, go check it out. But man, is it bad. It's disturbing. I wanted to play this little video. It's of Micah. You know, we get a chance to hear her speak a little bit. So I'm going to play this for you guys here real quick.
Hey everybody, I just want to let you know that I'm alive and well, and life's been kind of crazy the couple past weeks, months, years, but I've kind of had to keep my circle really small for the past couple weeks just because I'm going through a lot and it's hard and it's my cross to bear. It's the thing that God has put in my life to deal with, and I don't want to bring a lot of people into it. I'm so thankful to God for a strong family and the friends that God has put in my life to be there for me at this time. I just wanted to share that my heart and my prayer is that the church would stay strong, that y'all would stick together, because the church is God's people It's not a man, it's not a person,
Mm.
it's not me, it's God's people, the bride of Christ. And there's a lot of really good people in the church that that I just hope would continue on, press toward the calling, run your race, stay encouraged, stay in your word, keep worshiping. Like I can't wait to worship again with everybody, but for now I'm just worshiping with me and Jesus.
Let me I want to say something. I'm going to play the rest of this, of course, because of course, you know, it's just nice to hear her talk, right? Because obviously we only get these videos, and you know, of course, she's no longer here. But one thing I want to point out, in the affidavit, the sister says that she went to this mental health facility. She got admitted to this mental health facility. There's a few things you got to think about, because some people automatically think, oh yeah, she just had mental health issues and that's what it is. Think about this for a second. If the allegations that are being put out here are true, and she succumbed to a crazy amount of SA and being forced to do things that she didn't want to do, right? Wouldn't that make anybody mentally break? If you're doing this over time, and God knows how long when it started. It could have started when she was 14. It could have started when she was 19. I don't know. But she had to be involved in these acts, these alleged acts, for a long time. And I'm sure none of it was her doing or her ideas. So over time, that stuff starts to eat away at you. Mentally starts to break you down. What are the chances? What are the possibilities of her actually hitting a wall mentally, saying, I can't do this anymore, and she has a mental break? Maybe the thoughts of doing the unaliving, unthinkable, self-inflicted stuff, maybe those thoughts went into her head only because of her being a victim of these types of SAA type of situations that were happening in her own home with her own husband that is preaching the word by day and allegedly doing all these terrible, disturbing things at night. Some of these things were with random people and random men and women off the doggone street. That would break any person. So when he's sitting there going, oh yeah, you know, she had all these, you know, these thoughts, and she, you know, these times she tried to do these things in the past. Maybe she did try to do those things in the past because of what is being alleged out here, because of what she survived. If she did not have those things happening to her, then she would not be going through these highs and lows or being admitted into a mental health facility. Unfortunately, she met the wrong dude. She babysat the wrong family. Sad.
To God. And I don't think God would be pleased with me if I just jumped right into missions and women's events and creative directing and worship leading and stuff. I think when your world is shook up, you need to take a pause. And I can only pray that more people will take a pause and I'm trying to get my priorities straight right now. And that's making sure that my heart doesn't have any unforgiveness, bitterness, resentment, just forgiveness and hope for the future and peace. Because you can't put a price on peace from God. So thank you for all your prayers and support. Know that I have to keep my circle really, really small right now. I'm used to having a really big circle, so it's hard because I want to reach out to everybody and tell you how much I love you and I miss you. But this is the best way that I know how. So
Another thing I want to point out too, this is very hard to hear, right? Because I like I said, we know that she's no longer here, and what she's going through even during this filming, the video that she made here, is pretty insane. You got to remember, this is the pastor's wife to a church, and it's not like this is just some small little rinky-dink church where a couple people are a part of the congregation. This is a pretty big church in the area, so she has an image to uphold, just like he does too. And for them to go through a divorce, and I'm sure right now, because of her wanting to divorce this guy and wanting to get away from him, the people who are in there that are, praying with them, worshiping together with them, I'm sure some of them are looking at her with the side eye, judging and going, "How dare you? You need to lean on faith, lean on God. It'll get you guys through this turbulent time, this hard time." And I'm sure optically, it looks really bad for Pastor JP to go through a divorce. Let's not forget that too. He's out here preaching and supporting, talking about things and telling people to go one way, and yet he's going through some sort of divorce. It's interesting, right? So right now, or during this filming of, during this time when she's making this video, I'm sure she is feeling extremely alone right now, because a lot of people will just be looking at her and, shaking their head. How dare you? It's the pastor. It's Pastor JP. He helped me and my wife get through our troubles, our trials and tribulations. Why aren't you guys leaning on faith? I'm so disappointed. So on and so forth, right? It's crazy. And it's like that feeling of being trapped, I'm sure, because of being in the church, because of being the pastor's wife. Again, because there is an image to uphold. We can't do that. It's about faith. We can't divorce. Then we're telling our congregation that divorce is okay. Pretty crazy stuff, right? Juku, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Carmenize, thank you so much for being a member for the past 3 months. Hey, hi, enjoying the show. Of course you are. You're still here. Smash the like. Let's get these souls more views. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And I concur. So yes, hit that like button down below, please. And thank you. That'd be greatly appreciated. Juku, thank you so much for the super sticker. Reality, thank you so much for being a member for almost a year. Well, we're almost there. Is this Hillsong 2.0? Just saying. You know what? That's a good question. That's a good question. Yeah, I haven't actually seen the documentary on the Hillsong documentary, but I've heard some crazy stuff about that particular story. Kimberly in Japan, what's up? Thank you so much. Just to say thank you for all you do. Send kudos to our awesome mods. Sorry. And mostly hope for the true justice for Micah. Yes. Yeah. I'm hoping that she does get the justice that she rightfully deserves, because this is some crazy stuff, right? Yeah, Hillsong. I need to check that out. I haven't seen that. I know there's a documentary out. I think there is, right? I need to go check it out, because that's something I've been wanting to look into for sure. Especially this. This is crazy. Like I said, I can see somebody feeling like I could see her feeling very alone right now because of faith, because of the church, the way they look at divorce and all that, given the fact that she is the pastor's wife. So heavy is the head that lies the crown, right? Because of reputation in her status, it's kind of hard to be able to go and just turn to any person in the congregation and trust that they're going to keep their mouth shut, especially when it's the main stars, right? The main leaders of that church. It's tough. So she's very alone, I'm sure. very, very much alone. But if there's more to this, and if the allegations that are being said out here are true, man, this dude, Pastor JP's got a lot of splaining to do. Okay? A lot of splaining to do.
I love you all. I miss you. Thank you for your love and support over the last couple years. And some of you, up to 18 years walking with me as my friends. And for right now, I've just had to put everything on pause to get myself right. And I think God's happy with that. So keep praying for me. Thank you. And I love you. I'll be praying for you. God bless you. Bye.
You know, what is really heartbreaking about this is, of course, it seems like she really was trying to reach out to as many people as she could, or at least the people that she trusted, and was basically trying to find help. But I think that what's really sad about the church, for those of y'all who are God-fearing, God-loving, however you say it, I'm not sitting here knocking any God-loving, God-fearing people. Not at all. I just know that there are some people that will hide behind the veil, the cloak of faith, to do sinister things. There are a lot of people like this. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that they're all doing what is being alleged about Pastor JP, but there are a lot of people out here that will do crazy amounts of things for money, fame, you name it, just by hiding behind faith, hiding behind the big old G word, God. And it's very sad because not all churches are built the same. And that's one good thing about it, and also a very devastating thing about it as well, because it can be very hard for you to find the right place to worship at, the right place to find faith at, because sometimes you just don't know the person who's actually running that church, what their real intentions are. Don't get me wrong, the Joel Osteens, the Creflo Dollars, all those guys that are out here on the TVs, and they're, the TD Jakes, okay, swallowed. Have you ever swallowed it up? That kind of thing. Like there's plenty of those guys out there for sure. And I feel like we all should know what their real intentions are right off the bat. They're going, hey, here in my private jet, or here in my garage with my Lambo, but I'm able to get this Lambo because of my faith. Those types of things, I mean, you should be able to figure out who's real and who's fake, who's really in the faith, and who's really in the business, in the faith business for the right reasons. You should be able to see that from a mile away, in my personal opinion. But I also think that it can be very, very lonely, because there's always a thing. And this is the part that frustrates me. And I'm going to say it. Because this is, I feel, what's going on with her right now, or what was going on with her. May she rest in peace. Real talk. And may she get justice if justice is need to be sought out. If those allegations are true, even if she did do this self-inflicted, they should still look into the stuff that she endured, because a lot of it's crimes. I will say that. If it was things that were done in a non-consensual way, they need to look into it big time. But what I'm trying to say is I could see how lonely it can be. And like I said, I'm not trying to knock anybody who is faith heavy, God loving, God fearing, and whatnot. But it can be really scary and lonely, because as much, and this is the one thing that frustrates me, as much as we look at faith and they go, come on in, we won't judge you. We love you, brother. We love you, sister. But then you go in and you tell them that one thing, the one thing that you're working on, the one thing you got a problem with, whatever the hell it is. And suddenly everyone's like, he doing this and he doing that. No, I'm the entire time they're side-eyeing you. The hypocrisy of it. is what's really wild to me. Just saying it. So if you are going through a problem, you can't really speak to somebody and say and confide in your own congregation about the thing that you're going through, because all you're doing is getting side-eyed and judged. But isn't the church and isn't the faith supposed to be the first place? Isn't it supposed to be the first place, or actually the last place, not even the place you should be judged at? Come as you are? Isn't that how it's supposed to be? But instead, people deep in the faith, people that are deep in the church, they're too busy trying to look perfect when we're supposed to realize and acknowledge how imperfect we are. So make that make sense. We're supposed to embrace our imperfections and pray through them, work through those things. But a lot of times people are too busy trying to look a certain way, trying to step forward in the best light because they don't want to be judged. But that is the place, the church, the faith, wherever you go and you worship, is supposed to be it's supposed to be the last place in which you get judged at. It's the number one place that you should feel overwhelmed with love and support by your brothers and sisters of the congregation, right? It's the last place you should feel alone at, right? This is something I think is interesting. I'm not sitting here saying that every church is this way, but I do know that when it comes to church, when it comes to faith, there's always this need to put this presentation on because of fear of getting judged. But yet church is supposed to be the place where you shouldn't be getting judged. You should be appreciated, brought in with open arms. We are all the same under Christ. We are all the same under God, right? And when this happened with her going through this divorce and all that, I can imagine it possibly being the most lonely time ever in her life because of how the church looks at divorce and whatnot, given the fact that she is the pastor's wife as well. But God forbid her going and talking to people in the congregation about the issues that she's had within her divorce. She can't do that, but that's supposed to be the number one spot in which she's supposed to be talking, right? The number one spot in which she's supposed to be open and speaking with no judgment whatsoever. It's just sad. It's just sad. Like I said, everyone, like we get into this righteous, there's this self-righteousness, instead of going, okay, she's going through this time. We're gonna pray through this. We're gonna talk. We're gonna pray through this. But I notice a lot of times it's just judgment. And I'm not sitting here saying that's all congregations. It's just interesting. Like I said, interesting. And I keep wondering, how much did she step forward? How much did she say? Did she really speak out? Did she really have people in? Did she really have people that she could confide in? Sure, she's going on videos and saying these things. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate her doing that. We get a little bit more of a glimpse of who she is. But I'm wondering if she really did have the people around her that were really supporting her during this time. And I can see it being a very scary time, especially if you're getting harassed, followed around, all that stuff. The fact that she even turned to her sister and said, I don't think I'm even think I'm going to be alive to see the signing of these divorce papers says a lot. Says a lot. And this guy, if this pastor really is that manipulative, he was able to hide behind faith to get other people to go harass her and make her life a living hell. And that's not very godly, is it? No, it really ain't. But these individuals are believing because they broke bread with him, read, Bible verses and whatnot, scripture studies and all that they're doing the right thing. That's insane. They're doing the right thing by God and by their pastor. That's insane. That's very dangerous. If any of this stuff is true, this pastor is a very dangerous individual. And if there needs to be justice to be served, I'm hoping it comes very, very soon, because those allegations that are out here about what she went through, what he put her through, is absolutely mind-blowing. And that affidavit says a lot. What were those documents? What were those files, emails, and whatnot that suddenly just disappeared out of her home, car, phone, purse, and so on? What is that stuff? I'm sure it's incredibly incriminating information. I guarantee you it is. I guarantee you it is. And I think that's one of the main reasons why there's an investigation going on right now as we speak, because of everything. And it's not just because of her saying, if there's a bullet in my head, it's not done by me, it was done by JP. That is the smoking gun. I mean, pun intended, not intended, but that's a dead giveaway right there. But there's more to this. And I think he's trying to hide something. And I'm also wondering, does his alibi check out? And where was his girl, his lady friend, during the time that this young woman, Micah, lost her life? And all the other minions and all the other people that were working for him, that he either is blackmailing or, is paying to harass her. Where were all these mother lovers during the time that she self-inflicted? That's what I'd like to know too. So hopefully we'll hear something very, very soon. But like I said, that information, if there's a bullet in my head, it was not done by me. It was done by JP. I'm telling you right there, they better look into this very, very, very well. This is not right. Something ain't right, guys. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being in here. It really does mean a lot. Thank you so much. I hope if there is justice that needs to be sought out for Mica Miller, I am hoping we find it very, very soon. That affidavit, in my personal opinion, says a lot. Okay? And yes, I feel like, you know what, Jessica? I feel like him guilty. I feel like him guilty as hell. But again, thank you, I call BS. Again, innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. But in these streets, it looks odd. It looks very, very odd. And then, immediately days after he's being spotted with his new girl and all that doesn't make any sense. Okay? It really doesn't. Grace, I'm not ignoring you. What did I miss? Did I miss something? Didn't mean to. But thank you, Grace. Okay? But guys, I appreciate all y'all for being here. Please do me a favor. Yes, justice for Micah. Definitely justice for Micah all day long. Please don't forget to hit that like button down below. Please and thank you. Hit that reaction button. If you're watching on any of these other platforms, please be sure to hit that follow button. Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, X, Instagram, all those platforms. Hit that follow button. Hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, become a member by hitting that join button down below. Or you can join my Patreon, patreon.com/The Pascal Show. It's right underneath me right there, going that way. In that ticker, scrolling across. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right. But guys, it is time to get going. I'm still waiting to hear about these allegations and if these allegations are actually true. When we find out more information about it, you know for a fact we'll be back on here to chop it up and talk about that, okay? So be on the lookout. There's new developing information every day, and hopefully there'll be something new coming for this case, all right? But anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all. Much love to you guys. It's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. I'll see you guys soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.